very warm welcome, grüezi miteinander, as the Swiss people say, from Lucerne, Switzerland, from the Lake Lucerne. I'm Alexander Linz, head of content of watchadvisor.com, and I am in the Panerai Officine Panerai boutique of Embassy. Embassy is so kind to share some moments with us today. They are giving us the possibility to film some diving watches. You will also see a Panerai Carbotech watch, but not only the Panerai watch. And we are going to present you some diving watches so that you can choose. And if you are clever and smart, you watch the video until the end, because at the end of the video you can see a QR code. We will screen a QR code and use this QR code. If you come to Embassy in Lucerne, show them the QR code, and Embassy will surprise you with a little gift. It's a very sweet gift. It's about chocolate, so you will dive literally into chocolate. The next 5 watches we are going to talk about are diving watches, and the 5 watches that are on the tray in front of me are in a price range in between 2,000 and about 16,800 Swiss francs. And what is very particular with them is that these diving watches are not just functional diving watches, but also gorgeous looking timepieces. Why? Because they are done in the way as they were done when they were born. So we are talking almost about replicas or watches that look as their originals when they were born in the 60s and in the 50s. From left to right, or right to left, we have the Longines Legend Diver, we have the Blancpain 50 Fathoms bathyscaphe. That's the watch that takes the look of the first bathyscaphe Blancpain did in the past. We have the Breitling Super Ocean, the legendary Jaeger-LeCoultre Polaris, and we have a Panerai Submersible in a special carbon, with a special carbon dial. So let's have a closer look, and let me give you some details about the watches that you see here on the tray. This is the Longines Legend Diver, a watch that was originally manufactured in the 60s and is now being a part of the diving watch collection of Longines. And what is particular with that watch is that it has an inner turning bezel. So the bezel you use for diving is secured by a crown, by an own crown here at the position of 2 o'clock, and if you unwind it, and then you see you can turn the crown, you can turn the bezel. Probably, if you wish, when you use the watch for diving, set the moment when you entered the water, and then you can be sure that you will have the accurate indication of the moment when you entered the water to make your dive a safe dive. It's an automatic watch done by Longines, very much in the vintage look. Also, when you go to the back, there is diver on the back, and you have indicated here Legend Diver, Longines Legend Diver. Very nice timepiece, and also very affordable timepiece. We're talking about 2,000 Swiss francs here, and what you really get is value for money, real value for money. Vintage is a big theme also with diving watches. We just saw the Longines Legend Diver. Also with Blancpain, they presented this year in Basel, at Basel World, the first edition, remake of the first edition of their bathyscaphe, 50 Fathoms bathyscaphe watch, with that typical color of the dial, brown dial. And it's still, we have to be honest, that's still a prototype. It's indicated here, prototype number 10, but we were lucky enough, in cooperation with Embassy, to get the watch, so we were able to show it to you. It's a watch that will come on the markets in the next weeks, and it's a watch that reflects the style of the 60s when the watch initially was presented to the public. And in my eyes, it's a fantastic timepiece, since you don't expect both. You don't expect the watch to be both on the one hand side the remake of the look of the 60s, and the other hand the bathyscaphe as you know it, and a very reliable diving watch. So it's 2-in-1, looks gorgeous, has a date and day indication that is, as you can see, pulled out very much on the dial, so you really see it. And it was pretty difficult for, or it's challenging, let's say challenging for Blancpain to realize it, that you have it decentralized and really fit here the position of 3 o'clock. When we're talking about vintage look, also the Super Ocean from Breitling definitively reflects that vintage look. And there's a second thing you have to mention, Breitling is now playing very much with steel and gold. And this looks very, very good. I am honest, I am not a big fan of the mixture of gold and steel, but if you look at this execution of Breitling with the Super Ocean here, I have to admit it looks really sexy. It's the way of implementing a little bit of luxury together with the decent, cool material of steel. Both makes it a very nice and very good looking diving watch. Also particular on this model of Breitling is the fact that they are using a movement coming from Tudor. Breitling and Tudor have entered a partnership where they both help each other with movements. So Breitling is delivering the chronograph movement B01 to Tudor, and they use it in their watches. And on the other hand side, Breitling is getting the automatic Tudor movement that they can use in their diving watches. Very nice timepiece, the Breitling Super Ocean. We continue in the vintage look. We have a watch that is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year, the Memobox Polaris. There is an entire collection, Jaeger-LeCoultre or Jaeger-LeCoultre, if you don't pronounce it in a French way. They did an entire collection around the Polaris. It's a fantastic collection. You have entry price levels that are very attractive, and then you have on top, let's say, the flagship of that collection is the Memobox Polaris. It's an alarm watch, means that you have an alarm, a mechanical alarm. I will make it sound just in a few seconds. And it, as already mentioned before, with the Longines Legend Diver, also the Memobox Polaris features an inner turning bezel, so you can set the entry time when you go diving with an inner turning bezel, and there's no bezel on the outside. When you go and see the watch from this angle, you will see that the back is pretty big, or pretty different to a normal construction. This is due to the fact that this is kind of a little loudspeaker that will amplify the sound of the alarm that I am now trying to make sound. Let's see. You can set the alarm in a precision up to 5 to 10 minutes on the scale inside, and it will ring some 30 seconds, and it's also very easy to hear underwater. This is due to that special construction they did on the case here. And if you, when you see the watch, say, hey, Jesus Christ, I've seen that watch before. Yes, you did. In 10 years before, for the 40th anniversary, Jaeger-LeCoultre already did a limited edition of 768 pieces at the time. It was the same watch, almost the same watch, the Polaris. And this is a limited edition of 1,000 pieces now, and you will have it's indicated here, 1 out of 1,000. So it's a little more more pieces than the last time when they did the first time their limited edition, but still it's the Memobox Polaris, that legendary diving watch. This now is a huge diving watch, still in the look of a vintage diver. It's a Panerai, it's the typical look of a Panerai. It's the Panerai submersible, waterproof up to 300 meters. And if you now think that since it's a 47mm watch, it's a heavy watch, that's not. The watch is made out of forged carbon, and the way Panerai manufactures the carbon guarantees you that you will always get a kind of unique watch, because it's impossible to manufacture the carbon case in a way that every watch is equal to the other. So the Carbotech, as they call it at Panerai, the Carbotech case will always look differently, and when you buy such a watch, you will always have more or less your unique watch. Of course, the typical construction of the crown here with the lever, you open to unsecure, and you manipulate the either time setting or date setting, and if you want to reclose it and make sure that the watch is absolutely waterproof, you close the lever, and it's closed, and then you have guaranteed waterproofness. The bezel only turns in one direction, as it should be with a diving watch. So once you set your time, when you enter and you start diving, if you manipulate by coincidence the bezel, the time only gets less but not more, so you are never in the position to get problems, since you have been wrongly calculating the amount of oxygen or air you have in your bottles when you dive. Very nice timepiece, looks good, decent look, even if it's a 47mm watch, and very, very light, astonishing light. I hope you enjoyed my little presentation of those 5 diving watches, very much in the spirit of a vintage watch. And once again, if I would have had the choice, or if I would have the choice to take one of those, I would take all of them, of course. But there's one little exception. Since I bought already 10 years ago the Jaeger-LeCoultre Polaris limited edition at the time being, where I just told you, where they manufactured only 768 pieces. So I would have the choice. I would make a choice out one out of 4, and it will be difficult. But anyhow, I would take all of them. I love them. So thanks for watching. Thanks for seeing our choice of diving watches. And since it's a very, very hot day today here in Switzerland, temperatures go up to 32 degrees. Maybe we are going to grab one of these diving watches and make a dip into the Lake Lucerne later. Anyhow, thanks for watching. And if you see the QR code now, be sure to present it at Embassy when you come to Lucerne. And as I told you in the introduction, they have a very sweet surprise for you. Thanks for watching, and please be so kind to subscribe to our YouTube channel and to like our videos.